trials and tribulations, you have prevailed. Your spirit is unbreakable, never derailed. With a rich heritage and culture and grace, Liberia, you are the land we embrace.
You are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
And good evening. This is the Bottom Line Liberia discussions. We come to you via Facebook, YouTube, and our me page. But tonight we'd like to say welcome to you. If you're joining us the first time, wherever you're joining from, we want to say welcome, and this is where you belong because we give you the information as they unfold from different perspectives. I have a full house tonight here. We're going to have different views on issues tonight, and so it's going to be very, very interesting that you stay with us. We will disagree, we agree, and we'll discuss the issues from our own perspectives. We have heard it before, but we are giving our opinions. So let me say welcome to my colleagues. Timara Kamara is well seated in London. Francis Mensah in Sweden. Paul the Lord Chilpley will be joining us in split seconds. And I'm here in Norway. My name is Lim Fagua. And together we'll be talking. Gentlemen, let me say welcome to each and every one of you.
Thank you, William. Thank you.
Benjo, thanks. Always good to be back on the platform. Nice to see you guys after a couple of weeks. I think I'm well seated in the city of Manchester, not London. That's the northwest of UK.
Man, the biggest city in the UK is London. So you now have to put it in London.
I'm proud to be from the northwest as well. So just to let you know. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, and it's nice to be here again.
Okay. Well, guys, this is a weekend. You know, we went through the week, and we are now in the weekend, so to speak. The weekend starts from Friday, but don't worry, it's going fast. Tomorrow, Saturday, then that Sunday night, we start thinking about going back to work again. But let me ask how you start your weekend. You know, you just came from Africa, and you know, you still got that organic look. You know, so how you starting your weekend? Is it going to be something full of fun, or is it going to be the usual up and down? How is it?
Well, it's going to be brilliant. Weekend here in the UK, more especially in the northwest of England, is very warm, very, very warm. And today, newspaper says that it's the warmest day in May they ever recorded. So we still have today, everybody's walking around with nearly naked. So it's a warm weather. That's the sign of a good weekend. You know, and people would like to go about and have fun walking to the park. So it's going to be a nice one. I'm going to have quite a nice one tomorrow. Today after the program, it's already late here now, like 8 o'clock. So tomorrow I'll be out there enjoying the sun as well, taking a walk into the park, have some nice time. Yeah, Manchester is a nice place when it's warm, when it's really warm. It's good to come and see Manchester. A lovely city in the UK.
Okay, Francis, I know in terms of weather, you will not be that different from me, but how is it? How are you starting your weekend?
Well, I mean, the weekend started, no, basically, like I just cooked some palm butter for my daughter. But I love palm butter, so or just basically some kiss me and some stuff, a bit of root and kind of stuff in there. But I fixed it, and she enjoyed it. We just had dinner, and we look forward to having some family time tomorrow. Go out watch some soccer. She's got a football game to play tomorrow, so after a football game, yeah, we'll hang out and go and do my side hustle, and that's it.
Okay, that's a typical European life where you know you work and then when you have the weekend, you do what you have to do. If you have a long weekend, I say long holiday, then you seize the opportunity because or else you have to work and then take care of issues. Or let's say welcome to you if you're joining us the first time. This is the Portland Liberia discussions, and if you're celebrating any occasion tonight, be it your wedding anniversary, be it your birthday, be it whatever occasion it is, we want to say welcome and we congratulate you. However, if you're on a side note, we also want to be with you in spirits and and all of that. So this is a family place. Here we discuss the issue and we give our opinion, like I said before. So we have Francis Mensah in Sweden, Jamal Kamara in Manchester, the football city. It's got two strong teams from Manchester United and City. And then I'm here in cool Norway. But Paul is going to be joined. Okay, Paul is here. Paul, welcome. Paul is also in London. Paul, what's on your mind and how you starting your weekend?
Well, good evening, gentlemen, and good evening from my end to our audience. Look, I know there is May Day. You guys had holiday yesterday, but usually UK we are kind of different from the rest of Europe. So we celebrating our Victory Day on Monday. So we have a very long weekend coming up. Yes. So I'm looking forward to the weekend. So starting from today, we're back to work on Tuesday. So we'll have a very long drinking weekend, guys. You know the English will love their drink. So everywhere going to be bustle and party all over the place. So got wedding to go to, got birthday parties, got a gay cross, some people garden party, and also looking for, and the weather is very good. That's what on my mind. Then for that question, I don't want you asking me what on my mind because you know Liberia is on my mind. Something is concerning me about Liberia. Liberia is the eighth poorest nation in the world, the entire planet. And how can we be the first nation of Africa to be the eighth poorest in the world? That's concerning me. That's on my mind and playing on me. And how do we get out of being the eighth poorest instead of coming up? Why are we the eighth poorest in the world? It's been concerning. That's what's on my mind. That's what's bothering me.
Okay.
There's a lot of noise in the background, guys.
Yeah, guys, try to mute yourself if you're not talking. Or I will have some noise as well, but we can control it. But when you talk about Liberia on your mind, I think that's what's on everybody's mind here. You think you always say Liberia is not a normal country. So sometimes the kind of thing that happen in Liberia, we just don't understand it. The whole of Africa, if not all of Africa, but at least out of 54 states, countries in Africa, at least I can bet that at least 50 of them they showed some concern yesterday for their African brother in Burkina Faso, the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, the things that are happening to him. Everybody in Africa is concerned, even beyond the borders of Africa or South America, wherever you find black people, they are expressing their concern. But they decided yesterday that nobody, not even your chicken, should get in the street to show solidarity with that African nation. And this is concerning, knowing so fully well that Liberia does not live as an island isolated unto itself, and that we are part of the Community of Nations, especially a free country, an African country at that rate. If anything is happening to any of us, we should be concerned. And why am I saying so? When we had our war some years back, we were trying to help African countries to our aid. So if something is happening to another African country, I think we all should be able to show solidarity, even if we don't do it openly. Okay, we'll come to that part, but I'm just saying that this is what's on my mind. Even if the leadership does not want to front the cause, the leadership does not, but do not suppress the ordinary people who have the right to choose what they want to do. So that's really concerning. It's on my mind, and I think it should be concerning to all of Liberians. But guys, we'll be back for those of you joining on the first time. If we don't see your name and acknowledge you, please leave your name on the dashboard. Tell us where you're watching from. Just leave a comment. I'm watching from YouTube or wherever. But our first person we want to recognize is Prince Tano Johnson. Prince, welcome. I think this is the first time this is a bottom line Liberia discussions. Welcome, and we appreciate you coming. we'll share the show, and we're going to take a very short musical break as usual. And then when we come back, we'll be going to our discussions.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that why we vote tell you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not the corrupt. No one to trust. My people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then stay they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go not the corrupt.
Through trials and tribulations, you have prevailed. Your spirit is unbreakable, never derailed. With a rich heritage and culture and grace, Liberia, you are the land we embrace.
You are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
And indeed, you are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia. This beautiful Friday evening. Today is the 2nd of May 2025. Wow, it's going 5 months into the new year. And what have we achieved as a nation, Liberia? Well, guys, let me say once again, welcome to all of you. If you join us the first time, welcome. We're beginning to see people coming in, and let me just acknowledge few people, Francis Sano Johnson, and yeah, and let's say welcome to Fanny Dabla, Crazy Man. Welcome, Crazy Man. And also, Tadela Triple Brown, our regular listener. So please help us to share the show. Wherever you're watching from, whether from Liberia, from anywhere, help us to share the show. Paul, what's cooking tonight? Are we starting on the international front or local? Where are we starting from? Because you know, the reason I'm asking, not that we don't know where to start from, but when we turn to the right, you see so many things happening. You turn to the left, so many things happening. You say, okay, let me go straight ahead. Many things happening. So take the leap, or show us where we're starting from.
I would say good evening to every one of you, and also good evening from my end to our viewers. I think we start with the local newspaper first, and then we end with the international front, because I want us to make a recent being. And I said to you earlier, I think let's mute. Let mute. There's a lot of noise in the background. I said that something is very concerning and should
I
concern
think something
all
is sounding like
Liberians.
air conditioner or something.
And this, no, it's already noise. Okay, now I'll mute it. So something is very no, but what concerning me, and I think you guys too, it might have bothered you people. Republic, independent republic, is the 8th poorest country on the continent. People with big mouth, but we are the 8th poorest in the world. That is quite concerning. And how can we leave from that position to climb up a little bit? It seems it's not going nowhere. So every day the news in Liberia are not setting the pace that we live from that 8th poorest country in the world. And the big mouth that we have, for us to be the 8th poorest, I want our audience to also chime in on this. It's quite concerning. So we'll start with the local newspaper. Why is it Liberia cannot move forward? In Liberia digressing, why? That should be concerning with the big mouth that we have. Why should we be the 8th poorest? That's the question for the day before we move. So we'll look at the newspaper. What's there? What's happening? We're making a country to be the 8th poorest. Look at the impasse. If somebody want to protest today, they say you must seek permit. But the Constitution, even the act that created, it does not say you must seek permit. It says inform us to safeguard you. So why is it Liberia? Something is not right with Liberia. There's a lot of noise in the background. So guys, this is where we're going to go. Why is it Liberia is the 8th poorest in the world with the big mouth that we have, and we cannot do something better?
Well, I don't know. Big Mo has anything to do with your country productivity, how your resources are, distributed equally to, for the benefit of the people of that country. I think every citizen of every country, that I've met over the years, got that same passion, got that same big mouth for the country. But hey, it's left with how the resources are, are divided, and the wealth of the country, it's trickled down to the ordinary people. So there's been a age-old problem with Liberia: corruption, the disrespect for the rule of law, upholding, to basic tenets, of a society, politically, economically, So yeah. So this is, has been the case for a year. We hope that we'll have some changes in the future.
Right. Okay. Paul, that's a very complex question you ask. The issue of poverty of a nation does not relate to a single factor. It has a combination of historical, political, social, economic and social factors. So it is a bit bulky, it's built complex to just discuss it on this platform. I think it has to do also, if you can break it down, like the full things as you mentioned. So we can't just say that, like, okay, we can't pick anything or one. If you want for us to go in details, we have to discuss the factors that are responsible, not only Liberia, any other poorer nations in Africa. I mean, any developing country may have the same issues to deal with. So we also differ in terms of countries with these factors. So it's hard to lay finger on one factor that's responsible for poverty, abject poverty, and that leads to corruption and so many other things. So that would be my answer to your question. So if you want for us to discuss that, that should be a different topic. We can have hours on that to go all throughout tonight. If that's not a topic, then if you want for us to discuss that, we can go through on that. That's how we will go by factor, historical, economic, social, and political. These are the factors that are responsible for these poverty and corruption in most of these countries.
Okay. I think that's a very good question, but like Jiba said, it's a complex one. That nobody can find one particular answer for. So to start off, I would say there are so many things responsible. Even if you zip all of us our mouth, all the citizens of Liberia zip our mouth. If the resources are not managed the right way, we will be even poorer. So by us opening our mouth and be very loud that we can't be more from Nigeria is not the reason why we are poor. No. American people got big mouth there. Their mouth even bigger than us. But still, it's a Western country. Go to China, the Chinese people are not mute. They're talking, but they're progressing. I think it's all about the management of the resources. Now, listen, no country will just sit down, the citizens sit down, fold their hand, and things happen. No, you have to work. You have to work. You have to, do development, so to speak. And then, how do you get the resources? Or the funds to do development? No country can live by credit and develop. Now, for those of us living in the West, where they got a credit facility, one morning you go in the post bank, you receive a mail that says, okay, we send you a credit card with $100,000 US on it. That money is not yours. They give it to you, and you think you get money, you take it, you start to use it. And you do not have $100,000 to replace that money right away. But you take it in your property, you start using it. And then $100,000 you want to pay, you will pay $200,000 back. So it's above your limit. And that will put you into debt. You cannot make it. And this is one of the situations with a country like Liberia, okay, where all of our development team will go to the IMF, will go to credit people who will credit you. And when they credit you, they tell you, we'll give you the cell phone for $100, but in order to pay us back, you'll pay us $500. And then you think, you finish getting money. Then you bring it, that money you get, when they bring it, they lead us, they corrupt it, they take and put it in a packet, they go build our horses, some of them travel, some of them do all kinds of things. And then we turn around, we sit down, we start to pay that money back, we move profit. And that's happening there. The next year we'll go back again and credit more and more. So these are some of the things that make the country to be poor. Now, the main thing that Francis talked about is the corruption, mismanagement of the country's resources. Now, like I said, no country will just sit down and develop. God will not come from heaven and can't bring down the skyscrapers. No, you have to work. And what with the resources that you have? Okay, you got oil, you got diamond, you got gold, you got all these things. What are we doing with it? Liberia, as a country, we got the single largest rubber plantation in the entire world. Okay, and what are we doing with it? We can't even make balloon in Liberia, not even condom. So how do we benefit from that? We go and deal with that. Other countries carry it, and then we turn around.
Or in Turkey now. Turkey taking over.
Yeah. So how do we tell me? How do we? So it's not our mouths. So like I said, even if you zip our mouth, we still not get rich when corruption in the country, when mismanagement there, And I think this is why African countries are now waking up. They are seeing that, no, listen, you can't depend on nobody to say, let's manage your resources for you, and you think you get rich. It's like, Paul, you make your farm, you suffer, you make your farm. I come, I cut all your rice, your banana, your planting, your everything you plant on that farm, and say, let me take it and carry it to my house. If you want to eat, then you can. I measure some and give you it. Okay? So that's the problem with that.
But I think Paul was basically trying to drive at the root cause, corruption. Our leaders from leaders to leaders, we stay the same. What has happened? I mean, our people do not have the far-sightedness. They don't have the innovation. I mean, they cannot take bold steps to see this country go through a transformative stage. We are still at the same pace, the same level every time, every year. But hey, I see President Boga is doing a lot, so I hope that before his tenure is over, he will bring us on par a little bit, and then the next person will take over. Hopefully that we will walk in the right tracks of President Boga.
Well, when you talk about President Boga is doing a lot, I get confused a little bit. I don't know what he's doing specifically, because we have the root cause of the issue. The problem that we have, there are root causes. Number one, we talk about corruption. Number two, poor management of the resources. So if you talk about President Boga is doing a lot, I don't understand. And even beside the poor management of the resources, the little thing that we get from it doesn't reach down to the people who need it the most. Okay, the healthcare system is dilapidated. Education is almost non-existent. Okay, other infrastructure. You got water that today, when a drop of water get in people pump, that they happy, the people dancing. Those things are your right, because you are taxpayers. Even if you don't pay tax, but you got resources that's supposed to supplement those things, they are your right. Nobody's doing favor for you. I see people praising the government. Oh, LEC. You should not be dancing because electricity is in the town. No, because you pay for it, or your resources should pay for it. You should not be. Nobody's doing favor for you. And I see people making a campaign issue. Oh, the president doing well. The water coming, LEC coming. No, those are your basic rights. Those are your basic rights. Nobody is doing favor for you. Sorry, guys, for the background noise. So I will stop there. I just want to make that part clear, where people make political issue out of things that are your rights.
Yeah, Paul. So what you say, Paul? Paul, are you with us? Are you internet?
We might be having some.
I think you got some
feedback.
I think Paul is having some internet problem.
Yeah.
Like he said, he's using a new computer, so probably the setup and stuff like that. But Francis, I also want you to look at it this way. Like you live next door to me, Sweden, and we almost have the same system, the same setup, because I live in both countries and I know how things work, right? So tell me, do you see any political or any politician running in Sweden until, like, because we're getting electricity, or we my party, send my party to, or having electricity, or send my party to, or we people taking pay on time? Do you see politicians running on such things?
No, because this thing is free. Those, what you just mentioned, those are frequent social services that have been provided to the people over the years. There have never been an interruption in that. So it may seem to be common to the people here, but hey, for the people in Liberia after the war, since 1990, they have not had some level of stability in the as it relates to LEC, water and sewer, and people have their own generator. Even at that, the people in France, a certain part of France and Spain, when they had the outage of electricity just for I think like 7-8 hours when it came out, the whole people it was uproar. People went there. People were shouting. So hey, what you say about people who like Liberia who are not really opportune to have electricity constantly. So it may sound like not as little as nothing, but yeah, for the people, it's something to celebrate. And politicians have always, especially Liberia, since the post-war, these are the things they thrive on, to make their partisans or the supporters feel like they are doing something good. Yeah, so basically, where we're from, these things are common things that every day. I don't know when last the electricity even left my house or in the community or single street light that is just blown off in the community. It's off. It's immediately on. It's immediately replaced. So these things are current.
So this is where we have the
it's a way of life.
The opposite. This is the opposite of us Liberians with the people or with the Western world. If your electricity comes, in fact, there is no way that electricity can go here because it will trip. I don't know how they do it, but it will trip, and then when it trips, it's back. The moment it trips, something else takes over. Then when the real electricity comes, you know. So it's like you said, it's normal. So, but no politician will can stand in front of me and say, "Oh, your electricity is constant, so you vote for me." No, you don't run it that way. But Africa, the people, they do these things intentionally. The money that's supposed to be used to keep the electricity going, they use it for different things, and give you special timing during the electoral period, so that when the elections are coming. Around that time, the first 2 years or so, they will start keeping the electricity constant so that they'll use it as a bait to draw you. Then after that, electricity going in, then you go back to your, So here, when light goes, it's the worst. Like you talking about street lights. Like one of the street lights that right behind my house, and of them go. It's the problem. It's the concern. Now when light comes, no. When light comes, go. No, light's supposed to be here. Light not supposed to go. So when light goes, then we make issue out of it. Not when light comes, then we'll be happy, we'll be dancing all over the place. No. But like you said, Liberian politicians, they'll use that as a trump card. That okay, I planted 200 electricity pole or street light poles in this area. We I call it solar cell, so people will vote for me. No, because they keep your eyes closed so that, and this is the same Western style domination. The same Western style domination that we cry from, we Africans cry from, but our own people do it to us. Okay, where the people want you to be dependent, they should look up to you like a bird baby. The bird baby sitting in the net all the time. The more they open, it's not the man can open more. They put it there. The man go is sitting there waiting again. That's the kind of lifestyle we are used to in Africa, especially Liberia, where small things we say we're going to international, to the point where even something happening, man, we're fighting. They say we'll call it international community. Can you imagine? So the people look at you, they see that you are helpless. So they can do anything, any kind of way. And so, that's why when they see all African countries trying to stand up, they say, but how come? Why the other people are open and the people dealing with all the time that are closed? Let's fight against this one that they are open now. Because if we allow him to go further, he will help to open the eye of the other people that we have been using all the time. So I don't know how you guys look at it.
So, Linford, thank you, and thanks, Francie and Jamal, for the reason why I asked that question. When I said we Liberians will get big mouth, and I I keep using that word big mouth. Remember during the war, people that went to Ivory Coast, they say, oh, y'all gave, yeah, the Ivorian, there are two they not civil law. Yeah, Liberian be the one in Ivory Coast, then the Ivorian be in Liberia. But Africa just next door side you, and they're going well. The big mouth, you go into the people country, you say the people they are the non civil law. You are the civil law person now, you the poorest in the world with the big mouth we have. And up to today's date, that the population Liberia is so small. You have a government in Liberia. They had a by-election in Nima County. They wasted money there. Now, you have a situation, Liberians talk to the street lately to say they're protesting for somebody who in Burkina Faso, but the government right there can't even do something for your children to go to school. And this is why I asked the question, why is it we cannot graduate from being the poorest with a big mouth and we claim to be the learned people in the world, that we can't do something with our small population, we still struggling, and it will go down to corruption. Yes, I agree with corruption, but other countries too in the region went through there, but they are moving. Look at Sierra Leone. Madam Bill King, he did few things, they jumping. But why when it comes to Liberia, instead of all going up, going backward, something just fundamentally wrong with Liberia, and that's the point I lead. We need to learn from, pick up from somebody in a region and say, but how can Liberia go this way? We know the problem. The corruption is the problem. We're not addressing the issue of corruption. We keep adding more to it. Now, we got an 80-year-old president that decided to run $1 million bulletproof car. That who go, the man, if you meet him, water side, you shout at him, he will drop. So if people like him, Liberia goes nowhere. And that's why I asked that question. Why is it Liberia cannot graduate from being the 8th poorest in the world? There's something that people must do to move Liberia forward. And before we get to the newspaper, the reason why I brought this up, look at the impasse in the House. For the past 7 months, these greedy hunters been fighting among themselves. And how can Liberia graduate from being the 8th poorest in the world when you have an impasse in the House? That is my question. That is what can we do? Is this why the citizens now want to march on the government to do something? And then the government said, no, you have to get permit to have a protest. So, guys, I know you guys are talking about it, but let's look at the newspaper. And
yeah, but before we look at the newspaper, it says something, I don't want to miss more comment on it. You see, no,
okay,
government or governments in Liberia, so it can be like this Bouaka government. Governments from way back until now, and even to expect, they will always be the same until that extraordinary person, that extraordinary leadership that somebody will show, like what Ibrahim Traore is showing now. So let me tell you one thing. I follow this guy, and the guy talks some things that make real sense. He said there are people who will decide to remain what they are. They will not do anything at all. They will rather be slaves and die as slaves. And there are people who will stand up, and there are people who will take bold steps. And he said something that when they go to public forum, like presidents are meeting, somebody CEO, presidents in Liberia, somebody who have been in office for so many years, somebody who are so corrupt, they meet the body, say, yeah, you are doing the right thing. Then he asked them, but if I'm doing the right thing, why can't you people join me? They say, yeah, I'm not able. And somebody say, oh, our hands are tied. And for Liberia, one country I know will say that our hands are tied than Liberia. With all the money we get for the international community, that our dependence on the international community is beyond limits. How can we stand up and say no to them? How can we? When Ibrahim Traore took over, he paid all the debt that he was owing. So he owed nobody. So all the time, all the things they're talking, that France talking, have you heard France say you owe or can't pay all? No. You heard any country say can't pay all? No. They pay all that debt, international debt and domestic debt. So he owe no business person, the government no. So they are free. He's free to talk. For Liberia, what can Liberia do? So yesterday, I come in. The main point I want to make. So yesterday, when people were showing solidarity with Ibrahim Traore, and Liberian people wanted to do the same thing. Our government clamped down on them because the government does not want the big brother to see them. So you're who owing all the money. You're who, in fact, even supposed to support your budget, your current budget that was supposed to support it. That you're showing support for this man. So it maybe look, and this one I can play. That was advocate. Maybe President Bouaka will say, okay, we really want to go on the boss side, but your hand in the leopard mode, you can't do nothing. You just close eye and say, okay, you know what I mean? I want to see nobody, not even chicken should get in the street. Simple as that. Because what can he do? We do have the money to pay back America, the IMF, the World Bank. Okay, our budget will depend on.
But Linford, hold on right there, and I think Francis will come on. You always borrow money. You live on borrowing. When the people send you the money, what you do? Who's supposed to benefit from that money? Ain't that the entire country?
Supposedly,
the entire country sort of benefit from that money. But you have the greater hunters divide the money to around $45,000 cars each. So the money remain among them. The executive write $90,000 each, because this is an age of problems. How do we graduate from this nonsense? And then we keep saying, oh, we're praising all the leaders, but within ourselves, we're doing the wrong thing. Then we on the platform, me, you, and Francis, we encourage the people to put in the corrupt people to lead us. We sit here, we tell them, you put these corrupt people in because they get governmental experience. And how this is the point. So we also part of that problem. We look at good people, we ignore them, we go for the corrupt one and say, oh, this corrupt person have governmental experience and been there for 50 years. So this is it. And the 50 year come and do the obvious. Then people say, oh, we made a mistake. The day we get leader. So how do we graduate from this behavior of us all? Stealing the money that we borrow.
I think if you listen to me, I try to say, I said, until we can get that leader with extraordinary leadership. Because what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso is not normal. It's not common to most leaders. See, there is this thing called diplomacy, and the boy addressed it. Sorry if I call him boy, but he's president. He's a younger brother, so I can call him boy. He addressed it in one of his speeches. He said, we are tired of this deceptive diplomacy, where you know the truth, but because you want to be diplomatic, then you let it slide. Okay? So he's putting it up point blank. But like countries like Liberia will go with a deceptive diplomacy. Even if you know it wrong, you say, okay, let it go. Now, until you ask him when we'll graduate for it, until we can get that leader with that extraordinary, something that is not normal, that he can stand before his peers and say, look, I am going this way. You all can go the right and go on the left. It's not normal. Out of every 100 people, maybe you'll see somebody that got semblance of it, that may not have all of that quality. And it happens to be, no, listen, how many presidents, former Dahomey, Upper Futa, it was called Upper Futa before, how many presidents they have had? Several presidents. The other man king, Thomas Sankara, they killed him. And then it took a few years before he reincarnated, Thomas Sankara reincarnated into this boy. And guess what? It could just be the same year that Thomas Sankara was killed that this boy was born. Because he's 37 years old. Okay, we're talking about in the 80s. Okay? So God just blessed them with this boy. But if you bring 100 more leaders after him for Burkina Faso, they may not even think that direction. So we have not come
Linford, hold on. About 2-3 years ago, the president of Tanzania, the most talked about before this young man, that when he go to the UN, he said we'll get ambassador. The reason why I'm saying this, Liberians, we have to wake up to the fact, not only looking at Traore, I can't remember the president of Tanzania who passed away. That he became everyone were praising Africa the way he was moving. That look, the money we have, we'll manage the money here.
On the name Makufuli.
Taking Max, thank you. Taking delegates to the UN will send one person will manage. You saw what he was doing. So the question here is, why is it Liberia cannot take cue from these people? Why are we like this?
We have not had that person. We have not had that person.
No,
we the citizens cannot create that person.
I think approaches are different policy-wise from a country to country. I mean, one may work in another country, may not work in our country. No,
I disagree.
Based on listen, I mean, let me just let.
I will not let you. I will not let you slide before I forget. I will disagree.
We slide. I mean, I'm not slide. I'm saying something.
I will not let you.
I need to.
Let you finish. Then you
register my disagreement first. Register my disagreement first. I disagree.
No, but keep your thoughts. Let you finish. Let you finish. Then you come in.
What I'm saying is, no, look. Liberian has the people. We are very subtle kind of people. Certain actions may not, necessarily fit our country in our context. It's not one size fit all. There are so many economic approaches around the world that you can do to make a country a prosperous country. You have a lot of austerity measures that you can take. You could fight corruption. You could, do a lot of other things. You could, uphold the rule of law. So you do not need a military style of person to do it. And so Liberia, in the case, particularly Liberia, I personally think, look, we can continue on the path we're doing, but we need a president that will hold people accountable for what they do. Because look, people. I saw the president the other day, just a couple of minutes ago. The head of the National Insurance Company of Liberia was suspended for financial improprieties, alleged financial improprieties, along with his board of directors. That's a good step. If it could be done uniformly across, all governmental agencies, private sectors, it would be good. Because we have the laws into place on the books that can help us move forward. The people that in the great country of America or Sweden or wherever, they didn't do the same thing that they're not buying commercial jet to go to the UN or wherever it is. What made these countries great, what made these countries prosperous is that, look, they hold people accountable. Nobody's above the law. You don't need to do nothing extraordinary. You just need to follow what you have on the books to keep everybody in check. With those things implemented, we will move forward as a country. So I want to say, that's it. Nothing more than nothing less.
That's a good point, Francis. Accountability. You say you disagree with what Francis said, right? So he mentioned something, accountability, but then we have a certain government that ran on transparency and accountability. Into the second year now, it's not shown. So the bond where the disagreement you have with Francis, that's your opportunity.
Well, when when Francis let the cat out of the bed, the way he did it, the way he opened the bed was where I differ with him. When he said, wait, now, also wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
When he said, the way Liberia has a different way, Liberia should have a different way or different approach to development.
Obviously.
Yeah, but that's what I'm telling you. Development is
people
development.
People have the massive theory, people have the capitalism theory, people have different theories that they use to advance the country, cause the development.
The Marxist theory and the capitalist theory, all of them lead to development, and they all inculcate the things that get named. Number one, there is no development in anywhere, even in heaven. No development will be there if all the injured will mismanage things, no accountability. They get injured, Gabriel food to carry to the other people, the other citizens, injured Gabriel go and sell the food. When they get medicine to injure Marco, he mismanage it. There will be no development in heaven. Okay? So accountability is key. Number one. Number two, it has to also do with corruption, because if there is accountability, nobody will be willing to do any corruption, especially financial corruption, because corruption comes in different forms. Okay, so you got a country like ours that we do not manage our resources that we have. Then the little thing that we get from it, people misuse it and no accountability. I mean, you see one poor rat who were living with the frogs a few years ago, and when they got fight hard by any kind of means, any kind of crooked means to get to power, the next time he built a fence around his land that he just bought. He had not even built horses, but the land that he bought, the fence that he will build around, he can build 10 other horses.
And it made choice.
Okay, now and nobody will ask you.
House.
Huh?
Why you want to do a property? I mean, he want to build fence. He doesn't want to build fence. Why he want that his choice to build his property? I want to do his property.
No, I don't care for a property. I want to know how he got it.
Okay, fine. That's a different thing now.
Okay, but that's the point I'm making. I'm not talking about what he built. I'm talking about how he got it. There's a guy.
And that's the accountability you're talking about.
Yeah,
I agree.
Here's a guy.
That's the accountability and transparency.
Yeah, here's a guy who did not inherit anything from a parent. Nobody even knew a parent. The guy was just struggling in the community, but because he fought high in government, then he can bury his mother in a Mussolini. Can you imagine? I call it Mussolini, Paul. I call it Mussolini.
Yeah.
Mussolini. But
yeah. Can you imagine?
Oh, you mean that what Nathaniel Magee did?
Yeah. So you see, so if I should take Nathaniel Magee as an example, Nathaniel Magee, we all were around the MPFL during the MPFL time. You know, I know the guy passively. I don't know him to be from any wealthy place. You know, maybe he has more things. But the guy, you know, all of a sudden the guy became somebody who can stand and say, when we take our small money, can you imagine? So we talk about accountability, and since the guy made that statement, the new government came, nobody went after him. In fact, he's even getting 2 cars in 6 years' time. No, he representative or senator?
No. He's senator, so he get car 3 times.
In 9 years. Yeah, in 9 years' time, he's getting 2 new brand new cars. So you see what we're talking about? Mismanagement.
It's every 3 years, so that 3 cars, Linford, get this right, that 9 years. Every 3 years, they get new car.
Oh, I thought it was
so he getting 3.
What?
No. Every 3 years, because their own excuse say the rules are bad, so they have to change car every 3 years. So if you're senator, you get 3 cars in the 9 years. If his representative is 2 in the 6 years. And these are the people who will go into a tire shop, will be talking about John Mansafuni and then be talking about Traore. These are the very people that was the big more we Liberian get. We can't do better with our own country, but we can praise other people. This is the point.
So to conclude from my side, the reason why Liberia will not even support people like Traore, President Ibrahim Traore, is because, you know, the fear that if we support this guy and our own people back home, Liberians that are open to what we're doing, what will happen to us? See, like I mentioned before, it's the same imperialist idea that the West have been using on Africa to suppress Africa so that we'll continue to be dependent on them. So our own people do it to us. They say because we're learning from them, from the imperialists or what. See, so yeah, I'm nobody. You put me to somewhere tomorrow, I don't want Paul to be like me. I don't want my neighbors to be like me. Okay? Then the first thing I buy bulletproof car, the second thing, I build half fence around my house. The same people I'm living with, they harm me. Now they come in to harm me because what I'm doing, it's our own shadow that we're afraid of. See it? So I think let's transition because this thing probably, when we talk to people, when I understand it the way it should be.
Yeah, I mean, saying no how they call it, accountability and transparency in Liberia. You have something on the impasse that is taking place at the moment, 7 months now.
Yeah,
we get two speakers.
Okay, so it has been rumored, it has been circulating that Speaker Fonati Kufa will step aside, but before he steps aside, I may not be right. I'm just quoting sources in the newspaper that he may step aside, but before he steps aside, he wants the right thing to be done. And also, there are people who are saying, "Oh no, Fonati Kufa, when he received $10 million, and when few folks left his block, they few times to cross over, they say, oh, when he received the $10 million, he didn't share it with his friends, with people who were in a blast, so they crossing over and stuff like that." So, with all of these different accounts that are coming, if it is true that Speaker Kufa, once a speaker, always a speaker, he resigned, we still be calling him speaker sometimes. So, is Speaker Kufa ever received any money? From whom did he receive that money? Because I heard somebody who was beating that drum. So I asked a person, so are you insinuating that the government is bribing Speaker Kufa just to relinquish this post? So, we're talking about the same, we'll come back to the same accountability thing. The mayor is saying, I want you people to come and remove me the right way, the way we're supposed to do it in our chambers. The people say, no, we'll get a majority. And this thing has gone on for long. So they say the mayor say you want to resign. But before you resign, you want the thing to be transparent. In fact, let us see Remi Feken so that they can have re-election of anybody that they want. And then somebody say the mayor receive money. So why is he receiving money? And who's giving this money? So they see lack of transparency and accountability. It could be one.
So are you trying to propagate unsubstantiated?
No.
How do you go from the?
I said it has been rumored. I said it has been rumored.
But then you're lying. You're trying to tie in with supporting corruption.
Listen, me, I'm supporting corruption. I'm questioning. I am asking a question. If he did receive money, from whom did he receive the money? That's the question I'm asking.
Without saying that, look, is that once we do not have substantiated facts about the story that he's allegedly got $10 million, because I think it doesn't make any sense. The newspaper just is sensationalizing it to sell his paper. I know Front Page Africa has got into hot water. They made some claims the other day.
About this story, I did not cue it from the Front Page Africa by way of information. I got it from a dealer or something. But what I'm saying,
that uncle and nephew people.
Yeah, but you see, that's why I always see people on this platform. We can't be talking on both sides of our mouth. One day, when the newspaper reports something about development, they say, "Oh, the government built."
What do you mean? No, we mean both sides of our mouth.
Yeah, but at one point you try to discredit all the newspaper, but when the newspaper reports something good, then it's true. But the moment they report something,
when did that? I always said it on this platform that the Liberian media most times they often publish sensational headlines to sell the papers. Just the other day, they both Inquirer, they both Daily Observer and the Front Page Africa took side with against the president of the Liberian Bar Association because the vice president of administration, one of them, what her name, Joanne Lawson, says she disagreed and that the statement published by the Bar Association was not sanctioned by everybody. And then Front Page Africa in the Daily Observer for information, Kenneth Best is the uncle to Ronnie C. Ronnie C. mother is Kenneth Best's sister, small sister. So yeah, so but again, this I would say for the fact that both newspapers, all the newspapers, matter of fact, that bro. I mean, most of the stories are not corroborated because it's all based on speculation and sensational headlines to sell the newspaper. But I don't have any problem when they disagree with the government or publish things in the interest of the government. What I wanted newspaper to be very factual, and that's it. And just to end up on that story, so the guys from the National Bar Association, the executive committee members, they came up with a book with a statement saying that, hey, we endorse this, we agree, majority of us agree that you got to go ahead and publish that article. And that, so the any question, I mean, it was there was not an agreement among the people. So yeah, so I just want to know. I'm not denying your fact or your story, but I think that it's sensational.
But what I know, if the Inquirer or the Daily Observer reports today anything good about the government, it will be true. Or if they report anything contrary, then the sensational lasting. The media thing I know well. I know it works in the favor of people when it promotes them. It goes against their interest when it's not in their interest. I know it well, so it's something I play around for long.
So this is the story, the sticky negotiation that. This is the story, Linford, the sticky negotiation that you are talking about, and where Fanati Kofa is saying that when the Supreme Court did their ruling, he made a video where he said he stand by it. That these guys come under his gavel, he's going to go aside because he's not interested in the job anymore. But they must do the right thing. But then people are carrying this story around that he had making money. He said no. The fact is he stuck with what he said from the beginning is what he still stand by. So by May 13, when they should go back in the house, I think their break should be over. If they want to do the right thing at that time, there will be a vacancy for that speaker job because at the moment, Fanati Kofa is the speaker, but they must do the right thing. So he's have not taken money from anyone. The negotiation that they're talking about, that's what they say. The people are saying it's a sticky negotiation. So May 13, we should find out. So Fanati Kofa stand by his word, but the newspaper is saying because these guys are all greedy hunter, is all based on committee influence, political ambition for stupidity, for stealing the country money. Nothing else is in it. That's why they are fighting. So I just want to say, why is it that Liberia is the eighth poorer country? These are the reasons why Liberia is the eighth poorer countries in the world for the behavior of these people. So he's Fanati Kofa go nowhere. But the tricky thing here is the minority bloc have a point here that if that seat becomes vacant, they will be putting a candidate forward. And putting a candidate forward now, this is what's scaring the people who get the numbers. You see? So you will get numbers, then you scare for competition. So I never heard of that before, my people. This is the situation in Liberia. You get a group of people that have 51 person on their side, where they can have an election today, they still win. They're scared to do it. What the hell is happening? That's the situation with that paper. Ninfa?
Yeah. Again, we wait for the May 13th. Today's the second. We're talking about 11 more days. By week after next Monday, probably, I think if I'm right, or Tuesday, we'll be hearing from them. But again, like you said, if the majority actually have the number, then because Kofa is saying that he will resign, but let the seat remain open. See, so if they have the number, let them go and display their strength. It's because elections, especially in a democratic process, it's all about strength, right? Numerical strength. So you go.
Exactly.
We just witnessed election recently in Nima County. Koga had a strength, a numerical strength, and he won. So if Koga believed that you were going to win, and either Bongolo believes you're going to win, and all the other guys believe you're going to win, they took their men to the voting booth. So if they have remained behind and say no, Koga just say, oh, I know I'll win, but I mean I'm not going to vote. I already won. Then either say me I won, I'm not going to vote. So how will we know? But they carry that people, they display that strength, who had the power. So I hope the majority will be willing to go or sit on a Kofa Gabo for the last time and then vote in out properly and then vote in a new person. Or the new person should not be the one that call himself the majority black leader now. And that's where the problem will come again. So if you had a majority, then you step up, let all of them step down and let us see if they can. Then now they can make their nominations and go ahead. So I think that will help.
So I think so too, because the thing is, you got the numbers. You already have the numbers. So what the fear factor here? No fear. You already have the number. Go in the room and get the thing done with. But then you have the tricky thing here. You see, when the greedy hunters are doing something, you got to pay attention. It's based on committees. The people that are part of that majority group, because they said the negotiation is going on. If the floor is open, somebody who intends to run for that speakership will say, I'll put you on the committee so they can be switching over. So this is the fear factor. It's not about we get a number. That thing could change when they enter that house. You see the point? So let's move on, my man. There's another thing I want to talk about before we end with international. Molba Molu, this group called themselves TEM. They're supposed to be a group that will advocate for good governance and all that. It's almost like these are concerned citizens. So they plan to have a protest. Now the justice minister is telling them that they need to get permit, but the act that created even the constitution, you don't need no permit. You just need to inform the government that you be marching so they can protect you, they guard you. So this guy, they're rejecting this. The how they call it, the justice minister want to deny these guys from having a protest. So I want you guys to look at this. It's been reported in the newspaper, and Molba Molu and others now they're having a protest. I think sometime in July, I think June 17, they're going to have a protest. But now the government wants to deny them from having protests. The government now getting cold feet about protests. This was the government that also joined the June 7 that Henry Costa and other organized, and it went big. So these people want to do something. The government now getting cold feet. What say you, Francis? Your government denying these people from protesting. What happening?
One protest is the fundamental rights of people, but equally so, I do not know the Constitution, from word to word, but I'm sure there's another part of the Constitution that will speak against disturbance of other people's rights and movement too. So this more political. So I would like to keep my thoughts and premise on a political scope, on a political sphere.
Yeah, but can I ask one question quick before I come in my turn?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold
ask.
on.
Okay, yeah, my question is, do you agree that people should protest?
I said protest is a fundamental right to everybody.
Okay, thank you.
But what I said, but as equally said, is equally stated in the Constitution, very Constitution that we try to put that the movement of other people.
Oh, there is nothing there like that.
Should be impeded.
No, there is nothing in the Constitution about that.
There's nothing in the Constitution. I've heard people talking about that.
No,
that also.
I'm telling you, it's not. I know. Article 17. I know it.
That's Article 17 that says what? Where it says? Article 1. This one. I think it should be something. I think
so guys, let's get this thing. Let's get the thing going. It's Article 1. They say the power is inherent in the people.
Yes.
Yeah, but the power inherent in the people is government to protest. You can assemble.
No, yes, you in that Article 1, it gave you that power that if you dissatisfied with your government, you can call them to book. But then there's an act also that was created. If you want to protest, you can inform the government so the government can give you police for protection because they don't want another person doing counter protest. And that counter protest, that's why the police will guard your truth. But now, for some reason now, the king of protest is now afraid of protest. There's something I'll bring up. I think Jamal may help us out here. The CPP called for a rally in 2023. They called for a rally, and that rally, propagandists, Center Water Sport were planning that they will bring war, they will bring this, they will bring that. Because of that, this very UP now, Mobile Molu, who was former party chairman of CDC. We remember the UP, the ANC, all of them protest against the CDC. Mobile Molu now want to do the same thing June 17 for protest. Now the government is afraid of it. So they told the government to go have a march.
There's some feedback we have from you there.
No, I'm okay. Everybody just mute. It's all right now. So because now the government is afraid of these guys calling the government to book, they won't deny them from their constitutional right. And this is what Stan is saying. No, we don't need no permit. We're telling you we're gonna march. And it happened to the CPP. They said, no, we're not getting permit from you. It's in our thing. We're holding our rally, and they held a rally at the SKD Stadium. So while it said the government getting cold feet from people who want to have a peaceful march, they told you we're going to march. Jamal, I don't know what say you?
Yeah, Paul, thank you very much. I mean, I like Liberia. It's a very funny country, you know. Today, Mobile Molu probably coming out. He was a former CDC chairperson who is leading another activist group or advocacy group. Like we have to call themselves stand, what you call it. But on the fact here is should they demonstrate or not? Of course they should. It's a constitutional right for them. But also equally so, like my colleague Francis said, the government has a right also to protect those who go to protest, or also the public as well. So if the government smell or sense people, it may escalate into something different. There may be a way to regulate a particular protest. I mean, it's logical. Probably do a thing like what you say that they are trying to frustrate them or constrain them not to do anything. And if
Jamal, we're not hearing too clear. The feedback in your volume, we're not hearing too clear. You want to adjust it down and come back because what you're saying is very important. We want to hear that. So why you adjusting? Leave for come true.
Okay. I just want to get it straight with the Constitution. I don't know all the Constitution, but these are no small. I know Article 1 talks about the power being vested in the people, and that article talks about where the people can ask their leaders to step down. Okay. Now, Article 17 is not the same as Article 1. Article 17 talks about the power. I mean, the assembly of the people peacefully.
Article 11.
Wait, let me read it. I get it. Article right here. So I don't want to guess.
I got Article 11 here too.
Okay, Article 17 says, all persons at all times in an orderly and peaceable manner shall have the right to assemble and consult upon the common good, to instruct their representatives, to petition the government or the functionaries for the redress of grievances, and to associate fully with others, to refuse to associate in political parties, trade union, and or organization. So okay, let's go to Article 11 and see what it says. You see 11 here? Okay, 11 here says, all persons are born equally free and independent and have certain natural, inherent, and inalienable rights, among which are
no.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is it?
But there's a different 11. I think 11 quoting the American Constitution. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah,
So Article 17.
Yeah, Article 17 is a thing. So we have the right to now. Okay, let's just get a difference between the 17 and the 1, so we can't confuse it all the time. Article 1 says all power is inherent in the people.
No, chapter 1, Article 1. Because you got different chapters in the Constitution. So it's Article 1.
This is Article 1 under the structure of the state.
Yeah, all right.
All power is inherent in the people. All free governments are instituted by the authority and for their benefit, and they have the right to alter, meaning to change and reform the same when their safety and happiness so require. So you can change the government and reform it if your safety is so it's required. So it got nothing to do with and where you are talking about one article say nobody should interfere. That people coin that part and put it about there's nothing in the Constitution that say if I'm protesting, I'm not disturbing anybody. No. But that's why they say you should do it in an orderly manner. And you should go to your representative. That's why most of the people, when they protesting, they go to the Capitol building because your representative is your spokespeople. So you see, but people always come, you're not supposed to protest. When you protest, you disturb somebody walking on the sidewalk. Why the hell the person walking on the sidewalk? I get ready to walk on the sidewalk too. So if the person happy, I'm sad. Which one is president? I am sad. And I'm walking on the same sidewalk. And the man happy, he's walking on the same sidewalk. So should I tell the man, do be happy, or the man tell me, say, do sad?
No. Excuse. Let me read Article 14 now.
I'm going to the American Constitution.
No, the American Constitution.
Okay. Yeah, read it.
We're not hearing Jamal. We're not hearing you.
It's some background noise, man.
From where?
I don't know my.
If you mute it, noise will go off.
Live and read now.
It stopped. So the background noise for you, Jamal. Okay, unmute yourself. Jamal?
Yeah. I should say something. Yeah, I'm talking, but I don't. Yeah, I'm talking. Is there noise from me?
Go on. No,
All right.
go
No,
on. We'll hear you.
I'll give Francis the chance to speak. I think I'm not hearing any noise from here, but that Francis speaks, then I'll come and speak later. Is there any noise from my side?
No,
you okay now. You okay now.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, you okay? Go ahead,
Francis, go on. I want to say after you say something. I want to say after Francis.
Well, let's see. Even the Article 14 of the Constitution of Liberia, Chapter 3 or Chapter 3 on the fundamental rights, it says all persons shall be entitled to freedom of thought, conscience, and relations. Yes, okay, and relation, and no person shall be hindered, blah blah blah, thereof except as required by law. They go straight down. Okay, all persons who, in the practice of their religion, conduct themselves peacefully, or not obstructing others and conforming to the standard set out therein, shall be entitled to protection of the law. No. Go ahead. I'll find it out. I said,
okay, listen. I'll make it clear, Francis. I'll help you out. Gentlemen, do you hear me okay?
There is nothing in the Constitution that say that, bro.
I'll make it correct. Listen, do you hear me okay, guys?
Yeah, you okay.
Right, okay. Gentlemen, we do agree, like I think none of it is a constitutional lawyer, but we also interpret the Constitution for what we see it. But it's very clear. While we agree that the Constitution guarantees the right to peaceful assembly and association, but the government may also require prior notification or permit for protests that could disrupt public or public disorder. You should know that. I want you to go to where it says Article 17 of the Liberia National Police Act also mandate permit for certain protests, which has to lead to debate about scope of right. Because if you go look at the police have the right to ask for permit. They also have an article created for the police to ask for, depending the level of the group they're dealing with. So you're looking only at the Constitution. The other thing, why do we have the Governor Commission have the Code of Conduct as another method of making out to act responsibly? So it's not only the Constitution, there are other acts in the country that help us to govern the country as well. So there's an article that says that the police has the right to ask certain group to request for permit. So if you want to look at the Constitution, be misleading the public right here. There are other acts that are created that the police has the right to ask for permit for a group that they think that group may cause some public disorder. So just to make clarification, if you look at the Constitution, we'll be misleading ourselves. Do you want to dispute that?
Yeah, so isn't that the act that to inform the police that you're gonna assemble peacefully because you need guardians, the police need to guard you through. So that's where you inform the government that
look at Article 17. Look at Article 17 in the very Constitution where it says, just look at it, read that. If you have the Constitution available, read that Article 7 where it says about the what does it say? Read that.
Read that Article 17.
So what I would try to also say, if we also want to look at the Constitution to read the
look at it, 1986 Constitution here, if that's why you have.
Yeah, but whatever the situation, the police have the right to ask a group if they feel that group will kind of cause public disorder for permit.
That's what I'm confused. Yes. I don't see anything under Article 17
here. Okay. I don't think just to let you know also, like why do we have a governor commission that coming up with this public conduct? Why we now looking at the Constitution alone as an organic order, a guard for us in the country? Why are we bringing the code?
Listen. And you know, few what you keep mentioning that I got. If you say other acts, those are not acts. Those are mandates. For instance,
there are statutes. Statutes.
But okay. But what if a statute is being
listen? If there's anything that says,
I do understand. Okay. Granted, Lincoln. It's not art, but it's a policy mandate in place that help us to govern ourselves, right?
But that's the SOP for the Ministry of Justice.
Should we abide by that or not? It's SOP, standing operation or procedure. Should we abide by that or not? That's the question.
Listen. If we go by the Constitution, it's very that simple sentence here. It says all persons shall at all times in an orderly and peaceful manner shall have the right to assemble and consult upon the common good to instruct their representatives rather to petition the government or other functionaries for the redress of grievances.
I want you to go back to Article 17 that says that the police have the right to ask for permit. Did you want to dispute that as well? The very Constitution, Article 17.
Listen, I'm confused here because I'm looking at the 1986 Constitution, so I don't see anything in Article 17 that talk about police.
There's nothing in the Liberian Constitution that says that police have the right to ask for permit.
The one I'm reading here, that's what I'm confused. The one
I think it's the act that Jemma is quoting there that police have, but you see why they came out with that act? Because they fear of the government that they don't want the people to use Article 1 of the Constitution. The power is inherent in the people because when they're doing bad, the people they can rather anytime. But that act you're talking about said they can inform the Ministry of Justice.
What I say is about Section 22 that says the Liberian National Police Act require permits for certain protests, which has sparked debate among there's an act there, but it's been debated. There's not Section 22 of the very Constitution, nothing like that. Legal requirement.
I'm not looking at the Constitution. If I look, so
right. Look, for me, I don't think it's about this thing. Look, a lot of people, for me, gentlemen, a lot of people, the government of Nigeria, this demonstration or the protest were led by people like Mobile Molu is mockery. For me, I think when they were in power, we know what they did, and today they want to stand by when they've been denied protest or they're being asked to bring permit, they want to make noise about it. They look at the ball, the middle, the bone of contention here. The issue is that we know very well the government is in a situation where right now they have to make decision what we are now. How do you cross this? We are at the crossroad where we need to get out of this so the country things can continue in the country. But I think the issue of demonstration here is not very important for me. Because the issue of the political parties came together as a group to demonstrate, and I think they want to do that. I think they did have somebody on Tuesday. I'm not right. I don't know whether it went or not. But the fact of the matter that what would that gain at all? Demonstration over the years has happened in Liberia. What result has it brought to us? So whether they give, I don't think demonstration has given any result.
So Jamal.
One minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Francis, come. Say before.
Yeah,
Francis.
You see Article 13. Every person lawfully within the republic shall have the right to move freely throughout Liberia. Underscore, you have the right to move freely. If you are demonstrating and you try to impede.
That's a wrong interpretation to that. That's a wrong interpretation. If you read that article 13, it's not talking about demonstrators blocking somebody without moving. No, it's wrong. When you talk about your freedom of movement, is that
freedom? Article 1 talk about demonstration.
When you look at one word,
Article 1 spell out demonstration specifically.
They say gathering, peacefully gather. When they not, demonstration.
If you peacefully gather, me demonstrating. If you demonstrating, you're not peacefully gathering.
Article 13 talk about demonstration also. The Article 13 reading talk about demonstration.
If you peacefully gather, it's a sin because in Liberia when they see gather,
people say they are demonstrating.
Yeah, so You're not
But
now
but
up there
Paul,
picking all the dropping. You gotta move to the place to
the point I'm trying to
assemble.
make here, the point I'm trying to make here,
Demonstrations
that
around the
Article
world
13,
are all being countered.
that Article 13 you're reading has nothing to do with peaceful gathering or whatever and disturbing the other
It
people.
has
No,
free
it's
movement, yeah,
talking
border
about
movement.
you being able to come from Granchi there to move to Sano,
No, but
to
it
move
mean
anywhere in the country without hindering.
it could even mean for me going from
No.
Cinco
Let's
11th
get
Street
no.
to Broad Street.
Yeah, but it got nothing to do with people assembling.
So
No.
My movement.
Gentlemen, let progress. Let progress, because the thing is, I know
I think
in
I'll go
Liberia, when they say a Samo, the government, when they're not doing right, they get cold feet. This is the situation.
They say the people will
That's
demonstrate.
all. They get afraid.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
because when
but
they
you
say
also-
demonstrate, then talk to 1970, they always refer to 1979. This,
yeah, Paul.
but then the
Equality.
Constitution 1986, 1979, the Constitution before 1979 was different. But 1986 clearly said that you have the right, when the government misbehaving, you can assemble at all times. If you don't want that government, you can protest and say, we don't want you. So why
That's
is it
true.
when it comes to protest, the government they get cold feet? The thing is, in every country in the world, when people say they're going to march, the police there to guard them. So the police is there to be the protector. So why they already tell you they come in the street, then you scared? Why are you afraid of? You get the national police, you get a fire brigade, you get the military. Just put a few people to guard these people. Let them go and say what they want to say and go home. What a
I
big
say, Paul,
issue of that.
in
Paul,
Jamaica, yesterday in Jamaica, the people that are protesting or
Yeah.
showing solidarity for Ibrahim Traore, you see the police people in front of them. So behind them, they're walking, the police people peacefully walking.
That's
And
a different kind of demonstration.
No, it is. It is. Paul, guys, we should not speak because we want to talk. Listen, you know very well, but do you know, I was trying to say something here, probably I was not getting it right. The act that created the police, they have the right to ask permit. If you look, that's the right. Probably it's not in the Constitution. Probably that's what we're looking at. The police can write.
We agree. That's what I told you. It's the SOP of the police.
No, it's an act. It's an act. It's an act. It's an act created by the police. The act that created the police, they get a right to ask for permit if you are to demonstrate. But you know, the government has a responsibility to maintain law and order, public order. So what happened in Jamaica cannot be compared to what's going to happen in Liberia. It's different. Because the police think that there's an opposition coming to power, to demonstrate against the government in power, for sure. An advocacy group coming to demonstrate against the government in power.
The police stabbed the people yesterday who were not even demonstrating against the government.
So whoa. Now, Jema, I beg, you hold on. What Jema is saying, the power that the Constitution #1 gave you, whether you're opposition or non-position, that you have the right to assemble if you disagree with your government. So why is it now?
But I don't know why we will go down on this constitutional thing when the very Constitution says that the people that the speaker should be made speaker is not being given the right. Then you talk about demonstration. I don't know why will we wasting on the demonstration. The government did not even listen to the Constitution when they.
What's the fear? That's the
breaking
thing.
the law. They're breaking
the
it.
opposition have the right. What's the fear?
Every government library has broken breached every rule in the country, including the Broken government. They're all breached
to the point where the people want to show solidarity to Ibrahim Traore, who way in Burkina. In Liberia, then the government scared. Government said no, we're not go.
You think so?
But is it force?
So why surprise the people, right?
No, anyway.
So
Look,
there is a guy
we Article
that every
30
day,
again.
I think Danny speak, he get a plaque every day.
That me talking about your
Anyway,
movement.
let's close this on the international scene. And there's something concerning Lee Faki talking about the protests that went around the world regarding Captain Traore. Now, I'm going to play a BBC Focus on Africa clip. It's about 3 minutes, and we'll discuss it. Something they mentioned in there, and that thing they mentioned, that's what caught my attention. So I want us to listen to it. Then we can have a little debate and close the show, guys.
Welcome back to Focus on Africa. Now to Burkina Faso, where thousands of protesters have taken to the streets of the capital, Ouagadougou, in support of the interim president, Ibrahim Traoré. That follows the ruling military junta claiming they foiled a major coup attempt last week, as well as the head of the U.S. military in Africa saying President Traoré was using the country's gold reserves at the expense of the population. The BBC's Elfas Lagat now reports.
A large crowd of protesters came out to the streets of Ouagadougou on Wednesday in support of the military junta after an alleged coup attempt last week and comments made by an American official criticizing Burkina Faso's interim president, Ibrahim Traoré. General Michael Langley, head of U.S. military in Africa, accused Traoré in a committee hearing last month of using the country's gold reserves to benefit the junta at the expense of the population. In his criticism, Langley said, quote, West Africa has a complex mix of challenges. The region has recently experienced a wave of military coups, with countries like Burkina Faso, Guinea, Mali, and Niger facing upheaval as military officers ousted elected governments. These disruptions stem from entrenched corruption, slow economic development, weak democratic institutions, and limited strategic patience. Langley's criticism has sparked backlash in Burkina Faso and elsewhere.
Those who didn't build Burkina Faso and who want to destroy it, we're here to tell them no, that we don't agree. They should stay where they are and destroy where they are. But they shouldn't come and destroy Burkina Faso. We agree with our president.
Because Colin Powell lied, Iraq was destroyed. Barack Obama lied and Gaddafi was killed. But this time, their lies won't affect us. That's why we tell them, we are not against them, but we are against predation and economic slavery.
A sentiment equally echoed by protesters coming all the way from Liberia.
I came to Ouagadougou today to participate in this demonstration in support of Captain Ibrahim Traoré because he represents hope for Africa, hope for black people, hope for all freedom fighters around the globe.
Interim President Ibrahim Traoré has promised to bring security and prosperity to Burkina Faso, capturing the hearts and minds of many young people in the country and around the world. In the streets of London, hundreds of African nationalities took to the streets to rally support for the junta leader. The United States until last year had military bases in neighboring Niger as part of its counter-terrorism work in the Sahel, but withdrew after Niger ended the military agreement between the two countries. The three-nation bloc of Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger announced last year that they were leaving the regional bloc known as ECOWAS. However, security has further deteriorated as the region continues to fight insurgency that has left most of the region out of control of government forces. Elfas Lagat, BBC News.
Guys, at least you all listen to the little 3-minute clip. So Jamal, I will start with you. Where your take on it? Because something concerning me about that particular video.
Yeah, but you have to make it clear what concerns you, so we can able to pick on that as a point of discussion. What concerns you?
Okay. We were just talking about protests in Liberia that giving the government cold feet. Or Liberian left Liberia to go join a peaceful protest in Burkina Faso for good governance. But he cannot do it in his own country because the police will deny him. That is what I'm saying. That's what I took from that video. Not about the people over there, but a Liberian who now want to protest in his country. The police say, ask for permit. We can't allow you because you're opposition. They have to travel all the way on the other side to show solidarity. That's what concerns me. In our country, we get coffee where it comes to them. They will start quoting all of these this article. The police have the right to give permit. All of this nonsense that the people have the right to assemble peacefully when they're not happy with their government. But then they create an act that the government said, no, the opposition, yeah, you need permit if I will not allow you or we tear gas you? What say you? That's my concern.
Thank you, Paul. Paul, what we also understand that we've been, I think, Francis and myself have been reiterating here that the government guarantees the right of assembly, peaceful demonstration. We are not disputing this. What we are saying, the government asks where your rights end, normal rights begin. You should also understand that giving you the right to demonstrate, also, it's not like everybody wants to. They could also, the government need to make sure they provide public safety, public order. I mean, make sure those who demonstrating should be protected as well. So also the intent of the demonstration, it could escalate into something different. Every government has to be very curious. And if you look at it, the very Molu that is speaking today, under his leadership, or their leadership, CDC leadership, they got more than 50 demonstrations in the country. And we know every demonstration escalates to something different. If it's not mass, it's not injury, sometimes it resulted into casualties. So those people need to be protected as much we want to interpret the Constitution here. I want to let you know, we all agree. The brother went to Burkina Faso. I know him very well. He's from the Economic Freedom Party of Liberia. I think it's Yankuba. And he's one of those activists. So he has the right to travel anywhere to demonstrate. Then that demonstration was for the sitting president. So anything, I'm telling you right now, since Ibrahim Traore came to power, there may be small groups that are being frustrated to demonstrate. They won't be allowed to demonstrate in our country, whether you like it or not. It's also happening in Rwanda that is very doing economically, socially. Well, they need to, it's not like they don't have the right. Sometimes their intent is not being, your intention is we want the right to demonstrate, but you also understand that could lead to something different. So you have the right to suppress on the demonstration for the sake of the country. Now we are talking about democracy. Now I want to take you back to where the American government is saying that they want to protect our people. They want to see if we want to go protect themselves. The guys misusing that gold reserve for their own benefit. Now we are saying, is that your business? Before, it's not your business. Of course, it's not their business to do anything with us. But those who are really exploiting Africa, they are not going there. They are going to countries like Burkina Faso that are happy with them. And now the Burkina Faso themselves are coming to say, we don't want you here. We are happy with what we have. But just to conclude on that, I want to just re-emphasize on it. We also have the right to be protected by the government. If you want to demonstrate, others are there, they are not interested in demonstration. They could be affected. So the government has the right to protect others, to provide public order for those that are demonstrating and those that are involved in demonstration. So the police have the act to ask for permits, and that's in our police act in Liberia. So we should also understand that those exist. That's the point we are making here, Paul.
I agree that there's an act. I know there's an act, but we have the police that me and you taxpayer pay them to protect us. So if the police if a group of police if the police cannot do their work that they pay for, then to me it become a problem. So why are you afraid of? You been told I'm not doing it secretly. I'm coming out. You protect me.
Let me tell you something quick before my police jump me. Sorry about that. What much about the police have done an investigation that demonstration is coming or plan to come or scale demonstration has different intention. They have done their underground investigation. Do they not have the right to stop it? I'm just asking you. It has different intention. They may have done, okay, we want to use the demonstration in favor to support Ibrahim Traore, but it had different intent. Police could do the underground investigation, the covert operation, and find out that demonstration may lead to something different. It could lead to chaos, total disorder in the country. They have the right to ask for permit and ask for to be stopped. So that's the right where our rights being protected. You need to understand that. I know we all a little bit emotional about this right. You should also understand the other side of it.
So what you're seeing here, that is people now will surprise the government because by telling them they will do that covert and say, oh, there's intention behind it, so we'll not allow these people. But whereby when it spring on you unknowingly, that will cause mayhem, is that the one that we prefer, or we go by what the act said that I'm going to assemble peacefully, whether you have the secret bag, well, what police do when they get that covert information, if anyone planning to do mayhem, they will pick up those people before the day, but you cannot deny a group of people because they done some investigation. So that means you telling them that if you want to do it, you should not let us know. You just surprise the country, which will be more dangerous than letting them know we want to assemble peacefully. And that's the point. You see? So that's the way they tell you we're coming out. So if we get attention, they will pick out those people that get by attention on one day and pick them out and lock them up. That's simple. But you cannot deny them. But anyway,
let me jump in before.
Let me say something before you come in. Let me say something before you and friends say come in. Our Liberian going to Burkina Faso is a good thing. So Liberia no good thing. But in Liberia, we don't know. We like good thing outside, but we like good thing for ourselves inside. What say you and what say you, friends, on what is happening now today? Most talk about 35-year-old boy. When I graduated from high school before he was even born, y'all talk to me about this young men are making it with that our people cannot take cue from.
Paul, don't confuse.
You want to go leave for before friends? Or friends say for leave for?
No, leave for go ahead. Leave for go ahead. I'll come in last.
Okay. When you talk about, we are talking about, asking the police for permit and blah, 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 blah. That's a very good thing. Which sounds very good because it's an act which forms part of the SOP of the police under the Justice Ministry. In fact, we're not supposed to ask the police, let me get it straight, supposed to ask the Justice Ministry to give not permit, getting one also straight. We're not supposed to beg in your plead your permit to go demonstrate or to go protest. Mm-hmm. We ask for protection. We inform them that we are going to do this. So who get a gun here? Who get all the weapons? Who get a high water machine? It's not the police. You see any protester with bazooka on their shoulder? You see them with high water machine marching? No. You got all the weapons. So we come to you, we say, okay, we're going to protest. It could be that the protest that we're going to do, it will be against some people, they will come attack us, so come and protest us. So the police is there to protect everybody, both the protesters and those who are going to, and those who are not protesting. So let's get it straight. We create a scenario that the protesters are so dangerous, they are armed and they're going, so the police cannot cut. No, the only person in this whole place that is dangerous is the police. Because they got the weapons that are visible. Okay, so we lay that one to rest. The reason why we go to the Justice Ministry as citizens of the country to inform them about our protest is for them to know the venue. And then in that letter, we could also inform them why we want to protest. So people want to show solidarity to Ibrahim Traore. I don't see how dangerous is it or how dangerous is it to the Liberian government that you deny the people to assemble. It doesn't make sense. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. I mean, straight. It doesn't make any sense for any government to do that. Okay? So, who is Captain Traore in Liberia? Somebody want to take him now, or is he going to influence somebody? He's not interested in becoming president of Liberia. People are just showing solidarity to him. Okay? The same way, if the president is going somewhere, people who love him will go and get. Why I say when the president goes somewhere, you see a group of people running, the police won't get their permit to go run and cheer for the president. Why the police doesn't do that? Okay, but when the people say want to assemble, then the police come, they gotta go to the Justice Ministry. The whole thing is stupid, and I think that part of the law should be amended. When the president goes for, see people running, all people throwing people marketing down, they damage people things. Some people break people car. Nobody can hold them responsible because they're running behind the president. Okay, so should the president ask for permits when he's going somewhere so that people will go walk behind him? We gotta get this thing straight. And with all these kind of, this organization within the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia and within the system itself, this systemic, clandestine activity that they carry out, only to favor them, has engulfed the country into all this chaos that we're going through today. Because no system is working. It's in a favor of the power that be. You see, Molu coming out today to complain about this and that they stopped there. They did it in the past. So Bouaka is doing it now. The next government now can't do it because it's something that is inherent in the system. The system has created that facility that people can do anything. When it's in their favor, fine. When it's not in their favor, they will clamp down on protesters. Okay? The president goes somewhere, you see people running. Nobody nobody go and get permit from Justice Ministry to go to run behind the president convoy to go care for him. But I'm aggrieved. I want to go air on my grievances. Come and protect me and protect the public. You are the authority. So why are you afraid of me? Okay? When people want to play, they will come and report to police, say we want to protest. They will not plan it. I mean, they will not explain it. When two of them were going to kill Tower, they didn't go tell the police, will come and go kill Tower. They did it, and the person that would be even more dangerous. So when the people come and say, we are going to do this, get them that protection. Go there. You are the authority. So what's the hurry? You gotta go out police, you gotta go out Justice Ministry. Yeah? This is stupid. I think we gotta change it. And that's the right way to describe it. Thank you very much. I may be sensational, I may be emotional, but I think that's it. And there is no better way to describe it. The system is bad.
I stand with you, Linford. Francis, what say you?
So for me, I'm only concerned about the last 30 seconds of the clip. So if you have the clip with you, can you play the last 30 seconds? People will not focus on it.
Yeah, but
the last 30 seconds.
Okay.
I want to hear it for you.
No. About the economic development and all that, and about the situation
the country a country has deteriorated security-wise. The insurgents are taking, since they left ECOWAS, the insurgents are taking more grounds in both of all the countries. So that's what I'm concerned about. You can be popular, you want to do the changes. All the people in the street that are jumping around, they should be a uniform, be fighting the insurgents. They shouldn't be there for good times. If you want to give solidarity, you want to be in solidarity with the government, with him as a person, as an individual, let them go and try and start fighting the insurgents. Because when the French were there, the insurgents were there, but they were minimized. They were out of position that they were held, at a particular position. So that's my point. That's the only thing I wanted that caught my attention. All the support, the solidarity, the demonstration around the world, it does not
You see the whole thing now. So without the French, that means Burkina Faso is not a country. So the French will come back and then
don't twist my words. I'm telling you.
Therefore, Francis made a point from the clip because you should also know that this is BBC we're talking about. The mainstream media, BBC, and how they call it, France 24. I was surprised to see BBC to even go that far to pick up it, because it was not on a focus on Africa that pick it up. So it does not surprise me at all. But having said so, it's what the BBC have to spin it in the end, because we know.
They're spinning it now.
Oh yes. So things, and you finish forgetting there was a Wagner group. You finish forgetting there was a Wagner group that was there fighting those very people. They would not be mentioned. And we also know the Russians have moved in to help Burkina Faso, Mali, and those people. But BBC will not spin it. That's what I said. We can look at the other way. So
North Korea is there as well.
At the end, it have to be spin. So if we pick out how they call it, Russian news today, you have a different version of that.
You see, the way France is spinning the whole thing is like, without how you call it, France.
Guys. Now we are being, we are making the thing a little so trivial. I mean, the report. What you say, putting your spin? you guys were also excited, but
Francis,
how the world no, listen, you're all excited how the world stood still because the people were trying to show solidarity.
Well, guys, I think I have
to.
Guys, I'm sorry to announce I'll have to leave. I got a small emergency to attend. So it was a good show.
Yeah,
and
okay, we just about to close too. So just give for your closing
I still have to go. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, guys, we've been here a little while before we close. It was a good show. Before we close, I just want to do this quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we can close the show.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace, Hems vocal, Liberia number one right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hems Vodka, Hems Honey, Hems Bitter, and Hems Original Vodka. Hems Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drink Mama happy. Hems Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hems Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000-979. We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hems Vodka or www.hemsvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hems North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hems Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hems Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my crew, in my blood, every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it, we husband. Hems Vodka, that number one, from Liberia all around, in supermarket store and everywhere, Hems Vodka, that number one.
Hems Vodka. Well, good people in Bottomland, Liberia, this is the Friday edition. And for those that are following for the first time, kindly like our page. When we come on, you'll be notified. Francis, it's time that we close off for the weekend. We'll have a long weekend in the United Kingdom here from tonight until Tuesday before people are back to work. We're celebrating the Victory Day that happened in Euro since what? 80 years now. What say you? How was the program? And what your conclusion before we close up?
No, I mean, the show was very interactive. I mean, it was spiced with, dissenting views on the various topics that we touch, and for us as Liberian and the country as a whole to move forward, we must ensure that people are held accountable for what to do, and also that there will be some level of justice, or retribution for whatever you do in the country, because look all around us. We live in the West. There's nobody bigger than the law. So people walk in chalk line, in accordance with the law. So yeah, for our beloved Liberia, it may not be our time, but it's my fervent prayer and hope that the president His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai will begin to institute and support the law, the legal system, the judicial system in the country, so that the rule of law will be upheld at all times. It will be held accountable. So it was a good show, Paul. So I don't say good night to
always.
And then hopefully we'll see you guys on Monday. On Tuesday. You have a good weekend. Enjoy your Victory Day. And you guys celebrated with Putin, right? Putin just celebrated Victory Day last week.
No, I think they celebrate. Russian own start from the 7th to their own is different. I think the 9th is the main celebration because that's when they do their thing when everyone is finished. On the 9th is when they have their parade and show all their strength to the rest of the world. But that will be a discussion for another day, and maybe we can dive into this on Tuesday. And one of the things we got to do research on, that most people will be hearing the thing from small, that the superpower, America and other countries. But this one superpower, I've been doing my research. I have not come across it. That which country they actually fought alone and they were victorious. This one superpower called the US is something we need to look at. So what made them superpower? By just joining Britain and other people to go cause mayhem somewhere? Have they fought a country alone and they were successful? We need to find out. So there's something that we could look at next Tuesday. We can do the research now and see. And we'll compare them to Russia, that on the other side. So we can do the comparison analysis and see who the real superpower. So Jamal, although we've been away for a while, it's good to have you back. Why say you on tonight's show before we close on? Why would be your overall view?
I want to speak on two things. Like what is really happening in training Liberia right now. We just hope and pray that the political stalemate in our country, that in the House of Legislature can settle. The Liberia has to move on. That's very sad. We discussed this for the past six to 7 months now. We've been discussing this. All the impacts in the country has to do with the political rivalry in the country. It's not good for us. It's not good for the country at all. It's not good for the people outside Liberia and those who are interested in Liberia. So we hope things will settle, Liberia will move on. That's one thing. And those stakeholders who reach very hard to, they can see the good. They can see Liberia beyond their personal interests and do something for that country. That's what I can say here. Regarding the issue in Burkina Faso, the brother Francis said something. He may see us very critical or taking a side. BBC may flip the news upside down. It could be, but what you should also understand that the situation. The one thing you should know: the military, the foreign forces will be infiltrating to the jihadist group or whatever group that's attacking our country to reinforce them, because that's what they could be strong against the government of Burkina Faso. What the people of Burkina Faso should be doing right now is to make sure that the military strength is, is well strengthened to keep them on their feet on the ground. And then those insurgents, you can dip into the country and can cause more chaos. That's why I'm more happy about his achievement so far. People were willing to go and land up and be recruited to fight for his country. Now, I know he has a plan, but he also knows that people that are against him is very popular. And the people, he should also look at his military side. That country needs to be secured militarily, and people are willing to line up and be registered and go fight. I know many Liberians, many other outside Liberia, Africa will go to, in fact, you saw in Jamaica, they will come over there and line up and be recruited for fight for that country. Because it's one of the best examples in the country. Don't take the BBC statement on lightly that is being politically twisted. if the Western government are against it, they find a way not to get, they can't get into the country, they will go through those insurgents and destabilize that country. So they can do that. They got the means, they got the financial means, so they can do anything. You know what happened in Libya? The insurgents in Libya, insurrections in those Arab countries were brought in by the Arab themselves. It was not outside before the outsider came in. So that's what they do. They are very powerful. They know how to infiltrate. While we are happily singing hallelujah to this guy, we should also understand that you should look around him and see that there's a need that he can read, read strength from mental strength to put a feet on the ground. That's the only two things I can mention, I can talk about tonight, about Liberia and also what's happening in West Africa, more especially in Burkina Faso. The brother is doing great, and we wish him well. We hope he can stay along and do more great things for Liberia and Africa, and other African countries can take you from him as well.
Thank you, Jamal. I mean, you made a valid point that we cannot take BBC statement lightly because we know, and we all know that in that video, somebody said it. They use our own people for Obama were used to kill Gaddafi. We know that. They used Colin Powell to topple Saddam because and now they use another black person to come on and sell the idea. So we know that. And so the whole thing is, I think the solidarity from around the world, because there was an open letter sent from Nigeria from some people that asking even the Burkina president to now recruit foreigners to join his army, because it's the fight now. What he have done is something that they all like the way he moving, but they need more forces to help him. And it's left with and other African leaders are very envious of the young men. They could penetrate the guy next door, Latara from Ivory Coast. So they can use all of these people. You're right, they have the resources, and they can use our own African leaders, even within. We heard the first attempt was within, and we know what happened to Patrice Lumumba. Mobutu was his right-hand man. We know that. So Africans now, if they want to protect this young man, we know at some point in time, he have a timetable that I'll bring this country at this level and leave. He may not be harmed, but the West actually ought to get him. So that talking point from the U.S. is something that is being planned. They're going to get him, but how do they get him? This is what Africans are saying. No, we cannot sit back. The more noise, maybe it will slow the process down. So you're right. I agree with you. In regards to Liberia, I think you're right. The impasse should not come to an end. The guys are due back in session on May 13th. I hope that they do the right thing, get the country going. When Liberia on a red path, that was asked that question, why is it that we the 8th poorer country in the world and we're number 1 before in Africa is something that should be concerning everyone. Bad leadership, maybe the woman could turn things around. We don't know. Which we got 3 more years, I can see, because by the time Baba eyes will be election time. So, and also our audience, we want to say thanks for being with us. It was a great show tonight, and we shall be back here on Tuesday. Maybe during our bank holiday, we will have another show before Tuesday. So, but we'll let you guys know. So, on that note, I want to say good night. It was good being here, and we shall catch up on Tuesday by God's grace. So,
bye for now, guys.
Everybody.
Good night.
So, let me shut this down. Jamal, can you shut it down for your end? Okay, I got it.